You seem bothered by something.
How did we get here?
A CDMP TV and film presentation from Crazy D, the mind who brings you the Black Ice Chronicles, the Females DVD, and Situations DVD, brings you The Shifter. It's Halloween night at Crazy D's, and a pesky vamp is out for blood. Beware of the Shifter.
That's it. You gotta go beat it damn scram, man. Damn.
Why don't you be a doll and find me a place to change? I need a place to change my clothes before I go.
What? Don't try to hold me on the phone.
D! You been holding out on me?
I was just about to stop and help. You know I help the crackheads, D.
Some people just don't have originality with their outfits.
It's like I hear voices in my head talking to me and shit.
I saw that punk-ass Charles Pippen and his cousin leaving here.
I learned the grace pose. Get your camera ready.
We're here, like we said, for trick or treat.
Crazy, what did you see? You seem bothered by something.
You see that shit?
Hey, that crazy stuck in there.
Oh, what the fuck that was for? Right.
Shit.
Can't stand that shit.
Well, who's the pet bitch?
Like, I
What
don't
the fuck was she need all hoes? I saw her to scratch that poke that bitch eye.
Beware of the Shifter. Be at the premiere if you dare.
Are you gonna listen to the move?
I've been out the loop since '09.
Yeah, I'll be back to get at that, though. Check this. I'm at the motherfucking house last night. Guess what the fuck I see?
What you see?
Shamika, what's up?
Fuck you think you fucking with? It's Maxwell, bitch.
Fuck you in them shoes.
Bitch, I'm about to stalk you with these shoes.
I thought I told you to get a jump to Crazy D.
I did give it to Crazy D. You know, D, you must have seen money in that. You know, he used to produce those nudie DVDs.
Fuck you, thin man. I know you did it.
Don't let your mouth write a check, cause I will take it out on your ass. Damn, man. You serious?
I don't appreciate being roughed up by men. Or should I say, male bitches.
Yeah, you gonna work out.
And we look for young ladies like you to host them.
I look like somebody that can host your videos.
That's right. So go change, cause we ain't got all day.
Get off for her.
Pretty good, though. I'm doing that bullshit.
Crazy. What the hell? How you in my room?
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps.
What's going on, people? How you feeling today? Listen here. This is another great episode of TFR Podcast Live. Hashtag TFR Podcast Live presents Observations with myself, Crazy D, and my special guest host. I don't know how she's not in the same portal that I had her in yesterday. I don't know, but let's bring her up and then we will build. Okay, there we go. So we bring her in. There we are. That is Tanya M. Congress. That's my sister, y'all. First of all, while I build, how are you feeling today? Let's make sure that your audio is on point this morning. Go ahead.
I am feeling fine. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good. Well, people, we are back with you again, yet again, with another informational packed show. This show, hashtag TFR Podcast Live, OB and P, hashtag TFR Podcast Live, are shows that you can't afford to miss the information that is on there because it can save your life. It can save your life. So you can't afford to miss it. But I'm doing pretty good this morning. I was up. I slept, I laid down. I was up at 8, but I laid in the bed till about 10:30. So if I lay in the bed till 10:30, that means that sets me behind. I got up, I looked out the window, and I realized I hadn't brought the trash can in from last night. So it just threw everything off. So I had to hurry up and get showered and dressed and get out there and get the can, because somebody, I don't know if they were trying to bring my attention to it, but they put their blue can right in front of the tree lawn. I don't know if it was just like a reminder to bring my attention to it. I don't know whose can that is, but anyway, I went and brought the can in, and then I made me some breakfast this morning, which is something I do very sporadically. Most of the time I don't eat breakfast in the morning, but it does give you a certain type of energy if you're used to just doing smoothies and stuff in the morning. So I had a really good breakfast this morning, really nutrition packed, and I'm ready to go. I'm good to go. I got me some matcha green tea with sliced ginger and mint, fresh mint, and oregano oil drops in it, sitting here at my side, and a cup of Dunkin' Donuts coffee that I made at home. So I'm good to go. I'm ready to go. Let's get it.
All right. Okay, look, people. Smash that share button. Smash that share button. Smash the like button. Make sure that you know, and shout out to everyone that watch us on Periscope, Vimeo, FB, on the Film Review, Movies, Music, Culture, Politics, Society page. Make sure that you like that page. Also, they watch us on Tanya M. Congress and Crazy Dion. Make sure that you follow us so that you will know when we come on. Also, we are on the Film Review Life channel. That's right, the Film Review Life channel on YouTube. That's right, go there. Smash the subscribe button and like this video and share on all the platforms. Let the people know that we are out there, and of course you can hear the replay on Spotify. That's right, we're on Spotify. You just go to Spotify and you go hashtag TFR Podcast Live OB, and you can binge listen to us from episodes 1 to now episode 25. You got to know we're dropping information on you. Smash the share button on this. Let your people know. Want to know why? Because we are doing the tail of the tape. The tail of the tape. Trump versus Biden. The tail of the tape before the debate. Episode 25 of hashtag TFR Podcast Live OB. It's the tail of the tape before the debate. Trump versus Biden, right? Let's get it. Let's lay out what we're doing. Get your popcorn, drink, and notebooks, tablets, or take notes on your smartphone as Crazy D and Tanya take a look at the records of Donald J. Trump, President, and Biden, Joe Biden, former Vice President. What do they offer to American blacks? Is it the same old, or is it something new? Will Biden be asked the tough questions tonight? Will he be asked the tough questions tonight? Will he be able to advance any defense with the barrage of jabs and overhand rights and left chin check, left hooks Trump's throwing verbally? Or is Trump going to start out slow, giving Biden some room to win rounds? It will all be answered tonight as we this morning bring information so you'll be informed while watching the debate. Smash the share button, and as usual, let's discuss, because the phone lines are open at 213-943-3358. That's 213-943-3358. When you call in, if you want to come on to talk on your touch tone on your phone, press 1 and we will know that you want to talk. You know, that's a technology created by a black woman, an American black historic figure. She created this technology to even create touch tone. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get it started. Without further ado, let's go through a couple of definitions first so that we will understand where we're coming from here, okay? So look, what is tail of the tape? See, people hear that and we're saying it, but what is tail of the tape? Let's go through this real quick. Okay. Tail of the tape refers to making an objective comparison, particularly between two combatants. It comes from the sport of boxing, where fighters are measured and weighed before a fight. The pre-fight measurement has an important function, but it also has its share of pageantry. Both President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden enter tonight's debate with histories of making false, misleading, or exaggerated statements, often well documented by quote-unquote the fact checkers. That's a quote from the Washington Post leading into this main event tonight. Everyone's been waiting for, aren't you? Waiting for it. Smash the share button. This is what everyone's been waiting for. The barbs have been going back and forth. Everyone's been talking that snit. And now it is time for the two combatants to face off each other in debate. A war of words, right? So before we get started, we're going to let you know we're not going to be doing any conflating or conflation. We're not going to conflate. Now, what does conflate mean? Because arguably you hear this and people say, well, conflate. What is it to conflate? Conflate, to bring together, fuse, confuse, to combine things such as two readings of a text into a composite whole. Or the third definition that I like, to bring about confusion by comparing, to combine. Two is spelled wrong. Two things that are not related. To bring about confusion by comparing to combine two things that are not related. So we're not going to be operating in any conflation, the verb, the action of actually doing that. We're not going to do that. So we're not going to be talking about Donald Trump as a businessman. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump and Joe Biden in the political arena. So we're not going to be conflating, and we're not going to be doing like what the media does. Smash the share button. Smash the share button. Let everybody know that this is going down because it's happening this morning to get you ready. We are not going to be conflating and operating in a conflated nature or conflation, the verb. We're not going to be doing that today. We're going to deal with Biden, and we're going to be dealing with Trump and Biden, Biden and Trump in political arena. What do you have to say to that before we get started?
I have been waiting on this for about 6 months, and we have a feature on our Spectrum. We have a Spectrum, and I had the feature on there where you could go and rewind and record movies and stuff, but my dad wasn't using it, so I took it off of there. It was just an expense we didn't need because I wasn't doing it either. But I'm going to call Spectrum when we are done, and I'm going to have that feature added just for today because I need to. This is going to be one for the books, and I need to keep that. I need to keep it on file because I know this is going to be comic relief, and I'm ready to laugh at the sarcastic intelligence of Donald Trump for as much as they call him stupid and the things that they say, his tweets are ignorant and all the things that they say. You're about to find out what's really going on tonight. You're about to find out what's really going on. And then let's see how some people's favored person, Joe Biden, how he handled, what his vocabulary level is when he gets up there, what his mind level is. It's going to be something to see. This is going to be one like never before. And besides that, though, it's going to be very important that we be careful, as the scripture says, what we hear. And in another scripture, it says, be careful how you hear. It's going to be very important that we're paying attention and we're staying focused amidst the comedy, that we're staying focused on what's being said and what's not being said. And our point of contention up until this point and everything that we've been giving you is what neither side saying anything about reparations. And as noble as the platinum plan is still a situation where with reparations is still not being talked about. Okay, we can do the platinum plan. Okay, that's a good start, good effort, and good way to keep your word, President Trump. Good way to keep your word on the 10-point plan. However, we still need those reparations, though. We're gonna need those. We're gonna need that money. We're gonna need that. We're gonna need the things that we're gonna need. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir, Bob. We're still gonna need that money.
Yeah, we're gonna need that money. So listen, let's go through let's open up with the tail of the tape. Tanya, would you research and find out how old Joe Biden is and how old Donald Trump is before we get started? Because we need people. Smash the share button. Put tags underneath this. Smash it on your page and then put tags under it so your people can watch. Push the share button. Okay. We're breaking it down. So let's go through the ages of the two debaters or combatants.
Okay, interesting. They're not that far apart. They're only 3 years apart. Joe Biden is 77. Donald Trump is 74.
All right, 77 and 74. Donald Trump is still the younger upstart that was able to win the belt against a lesser opponent that hadn't really been in the congressional or should I say, congressional politic as long as Joe Biden, right? So he was able to win against that particular one who was more like on the sidelines as a wife. So that person hadn't been training in the ins and outs. It was more on like local, municipal, coming into the federal as second, standing to the side until Obama picked her up. And then first she was in the Senate, then Obama picked her up as the story goes. Right? And so, but her experience was not as vast as Biden's experience being in the Senate for 47 years. He has a track record. So, the younger boxer still has his faculties about him. The older boxer, 77, Joe Biden, well, he's slipped a little. He's missed a few steps, but he's been in many debates. And can he slide a punch on a certain angle that the young upstart that is the champion? Will he be able to slide something that catches him and knocks him out or backs him up a few rounds as they talk the different subject matter they're going to talk? Smash the share button and the like button. Let's get started. We don't have any memes today other than the memes that we're going to be dealing with. Okay, so let's start. Let's start here. Joe Biden has a plan for the nation. He's the challenger. He's the journeyman. He wants to get what has eluded him his whole 47 years of being in the political arena, right? What has eluded him? He wants that strap. He wants to say that he is the 46th president of the United States, and he has a plan for the people. So if you have never gone to his website, we are here to bring the information to you because you may never get there. And when you go to the website, right? When you go to the website, it says Biden's bold ideas, right? His bold ideas, because it's Biden's vision. See, to find it, you have to search Biden's vision. You can't say Biden's plan because it's been buried by everybody's opinions on his plan. Google has buried it. So you have to go Biden's vision, and then it comes up, because it used to be you could say Biden's plan and it will come up, but no longer, because it has been buried in the searches. You got to go 7, 8, 9, 10 pages in just to get to it. So you say Biden's vision. That's how you get to it. So when it first opens, it says bold ideas, right? It says bold ideas, right? Of Joe Biden, right? And it says, we aren't just going to rebuild what has worked in the past. This is an opportunity to build back better than ever. Now, that's his slogan, build back better. And Trump said, hey, we've got a slogan, make America great again. And why not continue to use it? Because it works so good. It could work for multiple campaigns for multiple years with different Trumps, I would say. So when you first go to the page, it would be cool if he has modules, and each module tells you something. The tale of two tax policies, right? So as you go in, you start seeing these different things. Now notice over here it says, build back better. Racial equity across American economy. We're going to get to that. But as you go through his site, right? As you go through the site, what you find is there's hella modules, yo. Look at this. Another set of modules, right? What is this? Build Back Better, 21st century, etc., etc. Wait a minute. We're not done yet. We're not done yet because there are more modules on his page, right? More modules on his website, on his He Wants to Be President website, right? There's more modules, so many different modules, right? Look at this. Look at the various modules that we see represented on his page. Look at this. There are so many. It's like you wouldn't be able to know when you were going to get to what was interesting to us as American black people, because there are so many modules, so many ideas that Biden has. It's like just throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. Look, even more modules. I'm trying to give you the feeling of it without having to necessarily go there yourself. The Biden plan for Central America. Now, this is very interesting. Look at this. Look at this. Within this block here, it says, lift every voice, the Biden plan for Black America. Lift every voice, the Biden plan for Black America. Next to that is the Biden plan for Central America. And then next to that, the Biden plan for immigration. Now, why are American black people clumped up with people who would be considered immigrants? But wait. So you as you scroll down, you see that. But wait a minute. There's still more modules with ideas. Still more. The Biden plan for veterans. The Biden plan for military families. Let me just jump around. The Biden plan for ending gun violence, right? So let's continue on. I mean, it's like so many modules, but wait, hold it. Do you think we're done with the modules yet? No. I mean, you really have to go through the page. And you go through the page and wait a minute. Still more modules. There's still more modules. The Biden plan for healthcare. The Biden plan for K through 12 education, etc., etc. Are we done yet? Are we done yet with all of the modules? And if we sat here and went through every one, we would be here for well over more than the 2 hours. Are we over the modules yet? Why, no. Ladies and gentlemen, still more modules. Joe Biden's agenda for students. Joe Biden's agenda for the Jewish community, etc., etc., etc. It's like I would have to be the king from The King and I to say, etc., etc. But luckily for you at this point, you and I, at this point, Tanya, the modules are over. So now, when you go to the website, Biden's vision, Biden's bold ideas, and I mean there are a list of bold ideas, right? So now you get to really focus in on some things, right? Right at the top of his website is the third module, which says Build Back Better, Racial Equity Across the American Economy. Racial equity across the American economy. Now, Tanya, when you hear that, when you read that, right? Let me bring you in so they can see you. When you hear that, what's the first thing that you would expect to read about?
I would expect to read about how he was going to address the ongoing problem with when we're talking about equity. Let's talk about deficits for people who've already been here. So I would expect to see something regarding Black Americans. But since you have two other modules, you have your plan for the Black community, and then you got the other one that was up first. To me, that's all a bunch of fluff. So racial equity. So where's that going to fall in at amongst your plan for Latinos, your plan for immigrants, your plan for Blacks, your plan for, I seen the plan for the Catholic community. I wonder why they need a separate plan. Well, anyway, I see all these different plans. So where is the equity going to come in at if you have so much division of your vision?
Right. So when you look at it, 213-943-3350, if a Democrat operative could call up and explain this website to us, because it's self-explanatory, but it's long. And it's like different ideas look like different modules was put in as the different criticisms came in. So this is the first module. The third module is the first module that is really dealing with race equity. That's what we're going to call it, race equity. And what did he talk about in the race equity, right? Because the plan about Black people comes down later, right? And it's jammed in between two plans that really shouldn't have anything to do with American citizens. But anyway, so this is Biden's plan as far as equity is concerned. Are you ready for this? Here we go. I've highlighted some things that are of interest. Today, multiple overlapping crises reinforce how far we have to go to deliver on that vision. He had some stuff above, but I focused on this paragraph. The pandemic has shone a bright light shone a bright light on racial disparities in health and healthcare, as Black and brown Americans have suffered and died from the coronavirus at a rate far higher than white Americans. Black and brown, right? So now, here we go. Now, so we're conflating. They're dealing in conflating. They're conflating the virus with economics. They're conflating. This is a problem. Tracy Latrice says, cut the check. Good morning, Tracy Latrice. Okay, so let's continue. The economic crisis has hit Black and brown communities especially hard, with Black unemployment at 15.4%, Latino unemployment at 14.5%, and businesses owned by Black, Latino, and Asian American people closing down at alarming rates. Now, wait a minute. What's funny about this equity, race equity? What's funny about this? Black, Latino, and Asian American people, that when you talk about business, but there is no designation or no statistic or no percentage on Asian American unemployment, but yet somehow the Asian Americans are put in with Black and brown. And how did brown get put in with Black when Black was the one that was supposed to be the protected class? And so you see this, people, Black and brown. I brought out the color a little brighter so that you could see it. Then after conflating 3 or 4 issues together, the virus, Blacks, Latinos, Asians, businesses with Black and Latino unemployment, that these are 4 or 5 different things. Then they say, they conflate in, we are also seeing a national reckoning on racial justice and the tragic human cost of systematic racism in the murder of George Floyd and so many other Black men, women, and children. And through it all, the climate crisis mounts with air and water pollution. How did air and water pollution get into something that has to do with race equity? How did you conflate these other groups coming in? Because it's on your mind. I will answer that already. How did you conflate all this and you're talking about race equity, but somehow you got on talking about pollution? You got to talk about pollution, superstorms, and extreme, etc., etc., etc. That has nothing to do with race equity. Look at this, people. Now we're going to show you both sides. We're going to show you Biden. We're showing you Biden's plan towards American blacks, because this is what we're concerned with. Smash the share button. Smash the share button. And we're going to show you Donald Trump's plan for American blacks. We're not going to go into all the other things that everyone else is going. And you hear that enough with the talking heads and the media that we contend is lying to you. So how did they get in? We told you we weren't going to get into any conflation. But when you read the plan on their page, it's like somebody was writing. I wonder if old girl Sanders was just writing. And she said, hey, let's throw this in there and then throw that in there. And that'll sound good. It's just writing. Kind of like the 13th Amendment. Oh, there will be no slavery. All people who are slaves will be free. Oops, wait a minute. Got to add that second sentence, which is unless duly convicted of a crime. This political double speaking in forked tongue, our people told you, speaking in forked tongue. So what do you have to say about that before we continue?
This is an insult. You know how I get. I'm trying to curtail. We haven't gotten to a point where I start to yell yet, but I don't. You know, an insult to the intelligence really gets to me. And I'm looking at, while you were showing the site and all these different visions and ideas, well, that looks schizophrenic. That look like you got all this different stuff. When did you get all of these ideas? Because they're jumping all over the place. You know, people that suffer from schizophrenia or bipolarism or some things like that, they will tell you that sometimes their mind feels like there's a pinball in there. And if you're familiar with the old pinball machines, you set the ball off and then it hits different things and then you rack up points and the ball just bounces around, and your thing is to use the little things on the side to keep the ball going, and it keeps bumping and racking up points. That's what I'm looking at when I'm looking at that plan. And I see that something's starting to buffer there with your image. But you know, when we're looking at that plan, we're looking at somebody that's all over the place. They're throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks. They're trying to appeal to every group. They don't really have a plan. They don't have a plan. They have a theory. They have a theory. They have some things that they're going to put out there, but there's not really a plan that's going to be seriously pursued or implemented at this point, especially where we're concerned. And this is what we've been trying to tell you guys the whole time. And, you know, you have, you know, what gets to me, as soon as Kamala was announced as the running mate, I saw people posting, they was automatically down with it. Oh, we're gonna have a first black female vice president. And so that's looking forward to a presidency. No thought, no forethought. You didn't research the woman, you didn't know nothing about her. All you saw was a black face or what was being presented as a black face, presented as a representative of you. She don't represent you. She don't represent you. She was asked point blank. I had to bring this up. She was asked point blank on a leading artist show that's pretty big. Lizzo. She had her on her Instagram on a live, and she asked her, you know, what was her plans for black people in America. You know what she did? I mean, she didn't even do it slick. She sidestepped the question by telling her how much she liked her work. She never even addressed it. And so this is what you have committed yourself to. This is what you will argue with us about in defense of wanting to support something you haven't even researched. She don't have any plans for you either. She has plans to advance herself. So this right here is a mockery, and I can't wait to these debates tonight. I really can't.
So remember, people, we are saying, so this will be clear. We're showing you both sides. We're showing you both sides of the plan. I don't know what's going on there. Messing with me on image here. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, people, look.
I see that.
So look. We are showing you both sides. We've already said that, I'm going to speak for myself, and then Tanya will speak for herself. 213-943-3358. I am not a Dixiecrat Party coon. I am not a Repub Party coon. I am not a liberal, what do they call that? A nonpartisan coon, or any of that other left and righty, whatever you want to call it. I'm none of that. I'm for American black. So when we are coming up here and we are talking about American blacks and the advancement of American blacks. Let's continue on. Here we go. So now, after you go through all the modules, because we have to give you a full assessment of what's going on. After you go through all the modules and then you pull back up and you find something, you thought that the third module was about you, but you open it up and it's really about making the struggle of the Latino and the struggle of the Asian, who appears not to be in any deficit of employment because they have their own businesses, to try to make those, to conflate those and make those equal to American black, Latino, Asian, equal to American black. Okay? So after you see that, then you go down a little further, and this seems like to me that old Sanders, find out who his campaign person is. Her name is Sanders. I'm trying to get her first name. It seems like she said, hey, let's just throw this in and let's just wedge American blacks at the left of it, and then just put Central America in there, and then put the Biden plan for immigration. Okay, so lift every voice, the Biden plan for Black America. Why is the phrase to the song lift every voice and sing in something that's supposed to be taken as something that should be taken in politics as serious? Why is there a name of a song put in the middle of this, right? So before we get to lift every voice, the Biden plan for Black America, and we're not going to even touch the Biden plan for Central America because it's already too much immigration things going on, too much immigrant love going on at the expense, it appears, of American blacks. We're going to cut to the chase and go to the Biden plan for immigrants, right? So let's bring this up. 213-943-3358. Look, I would like a Democrat operative or Republican operative, because we're going to get on Donald Trump in a second, right? Okay, Simone Sanders, that's her name. Thank you, Tracy Latrice. She pulled it up real quick. Simone Sanders, listen. It would appear, just looking at it, when you look at this is an insult to American blacks by just what's written. The Biden plan for securing our values as a nation of immigrants. let me be calm, because they accuse me of being a little hyperactive, right? You know, I've never been accused of it until now. But let me say this again. The Biden plan for securing our values as a nation of immigrants. Okay. We'll go along with that. You know, there's a few shows. We're going to talk about 3 shows that are kicking exactly what's going on. And this is a time continuum, people. We keep on saying if you extrapolate out from 1920 to 2020, this is a pivotal point in our history. Are we going to get it? Our history, our story in America, are we going to finally get the concept and understand what they have been doing to us in, like, Cube? Did you know, just a side note, did you know that they are coming down on Ice Cube because of what he said about, you know, and then Biden and them didn't even come and interview him. They didn't even keep their word. They didn't even interview with him on a live platform. They wanted to probably do it behind closed doors and get a photo op or something. Okay. They're coming down. Black people who love Ice Cube. Cube has always stood for American black causes. He has one of my favorite lines of all time, which is, put them overseas, they be begging to come back. Niggas say they too black, put them overseas, they be begging to come back. Okay, when you're leaving, that's my thing. Okay, so here we go. So the Biden plan for securing our values as a nation of immigrants. Smash the share button. Smash the share button, because the media is not showing you this. And so we are showing you this. And so if you are a Dixiecrat supporter, I won't go so blatant on you, right, to say what I usually say. But if you are a supporter, be genuine enough and stop being disingenuous not to post this. Post this and let your people see, and let them have an ability through knowledge to make the right decision. Because what is education? Education is set in a organized space where the person's natural abilities and abilities to comprehend are brought out to bring out their gifts. And if your man isn't what people should vote for after reading this or seeing this, then he just isn't, right? We've already told you, neither one is getting our vote, but we are showing you both sides. It is a moral failing and national shame when a father and his baby daughter drown seeking our shores. When children are locked away in overcrowded detention centers and the government seeks to keep them there indefinitely. I'm trying to make it go smaller so I can read it. Smaller, larger. But anyway, when our government argues in courts against giving those children toothbrushes and soap. First of all, the reason why we don't like the whole immigrant thing being conflated with American black situation. Let me do this. Boy, I'm telling you, this is crazy. This is some crazy stuff going on here. Look at this. Look at this. Wow, this is something. This never happens. It's slowing me down, but it's okay. We shall continue. The reason why we don't like things conflated to the point that the way that they conflate is because they never say anything like that about us. When the Panthers started the breakfast program in Oakland because the kids were going to school starving, the Caucasians said, let those starve. So we had to do it for ourselves. So we don't like them conflating these issues. So look, okay. So they've already shown you in their equity plan that they're going to conflate, right? Now, let's bring this up. Let's bring this next part up here, right? This is the insult to American blacks everywhere. It's wrong, and it stops when Joe Biden is elected president. All of that inequity about the people not getting toothbrushes, it stops. Okay, unless your ancestors. Now, this is not something that they're just saying willy-nilly. There are black people who know that some American blacks are big in the African thing, and they be talking about our ancestors and pouring out the libations. Unless your ancestors, and some believe and know that they come from the original people that were here before the invasion 15,000 years ago by the Mongoloids, okay? Unless your ancestors were native to these shores or forcibly enslaved and brought here as a part of our original sin as a nation, most Americans can trace their family history back to a choice to leave behind everything. Oh, that just gets me. That was familiar in search of a new opportunities and a new life. Joe Biden understands that is an irrefutable source of our strength of this nation. Do you understand? Do you hear this? Do you hear this? Do you hear this? They had a choice. They could have stayed over there. The Irish could have stayed in the potato famine and let it subside. Herd immunity. The Italians could have stayed. They didn't have to come over. The Dutch. All of that could have stayed over. We were here first. And yet they are focusing on immigrants. Generations of immigrants have come to this country with little more than the clothes on their backs, the hope in their heart, and a desire to claim their own piece of the American dream. Wow. They're coming to claim their own piece of the American dream on the backs of American blacks. Because when the first came after we had been here, they had money, they bought property, the property was black bodies, they were given free land, and they're talking about giving us a tax credit, or what I call a rebate, of $15,000 when you buy. But land was free if you, that's why eminent domain. But that's another discussion for another time. Look, you see this? Now there are 3 shows for those who like entertainment and they can't really grasp it, and it's too much to open up some books to get, there are 3 programs, 3 series that are on for you to watch on demand as well as playing now. There are 3 shows that are talking about what we are going through right now in this time and this day, because it has not changed where it comes to the recognition of American blacks as those who have built this country, and the need for them to pump in more immigrants to have a larger number than the American blacks that built this. This is the game, and 3 shows represent that. Watch Watchmen. Watch Watchmen. Watch Fargo Season 4 with Chris Rock as the star, Regina King the star of Watchmen, and Lovecraft Smollett, starring Lovecraft Country. You have to watch these. These 3 episodic, fictional, but based on actual historical facts. These programs are, well, actually, Fargo is actually based on a true events that actually happened. The names have been changed to names have been changed to protect the innocent, right? And so, but the names have been changed still. But the facts of the people who died during that time are accurate indeed. Check the phone line to see if the phone line is on, because I had a call come in on this phone and I don't want them knocking out the actual connection. So just check for it and make sure that we're still on. This is some BS going on all the way around the board. So anyway, people, those are 3 programs to watch, and we're going to be talking about that more this Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. TFR Podcast Live, the film review, movies, music, culture, politics, society podcast, right? On the Film Review Live channel. Make sure you subscribe. We're going to be talking about that more. Now, as we go on, are we on?
We're on, but it doesn't give the option of pressing 1. It just says, please hold on to listen to the show.
Okay, so but you can hear me. Okay, that's great. Okay, as long as we're still on, because this stuff breaking up, right? Okay, so anyway, people, let's move on. Well, I'm telling you, these phones calling, never calling. All right, people. Now, you have heard us talk about the plan, right? You've heard us on previous episodes. You've heard us on hashtag TFR Podcast Live OB and hashtag TFR Podcast Live talk about the plan for immigrants coming to the land. We told you that they're going to get their TIN number, which means they're going to be able to get a driver's license because they're going to be able to drive. Then they're going to be able to have health care, free health care, no copays. Guaranteed. They're going to be able to have subsidized housing in the burbs, and they're going to be able to work, right? They're going to be able to work. They're going to have a job. And most likely, if you're in a factory job and they're going to work for less, they're going to make sure that you train them, and then you're going to get your pink slip. You're going to get your pink slip November of next year, if this is successful, right? You're gonna get your pink slip, and they are able to vote, and they are hoping that Democrats are hoping that they will vote for Democrats. Okay, so let's look at this, because it's in legal political mumbo jumbo. Marshal federal resources through the reestablishment of the task force for new Americans to support community efforts to welcome immigrants, right? So I'm going to skip, or you could go read. You want to go to the website, you go there. This is under what we said, and then you can scroll down because it's a lot. They talk about COVID-19. I mean, I want to show you in the swim. Just think of the information about American blacks being about 5 pages, and the information about the necessity to help immigrants being 500 pages. Okay, this is how this is. 213-943-3358.
You know what?
Okay, go ahead.
That very first paragraph in the bold writing there, that pisses me off, because to marshal federal resources through the reestablishment of the task force for new Americans to support community efforts to welcome immigrants. Now, I see so much in that. So you're going to marshal federal resources, meaning that you're going to police them. You're going to police the resources. So you're going to watch very carefully how the resources are distributed. And you're going to do that through establishing this task force specifically for new Americans when you haven't took care of the old Americans. You haven't taken care of us yet, but you're going to take care of them, and you're putting together a special task force to do it, to support community efforts to welcome immigrants. So because we already established a couple of shows ago that we're looked at as deviants, you know, that's going to include the protection of them from us. Like, what the hell? I mean, we're not supposed to have any feeling whatsoever about this. We're not supposed to have any feeling towards it. Now, I'm not suggesting get emotional and go burn stuff up, but this right here should tell you something. How much do you have to be told? How much do you have to be told when it's like a neon sign flashing in your face in bold-faced letters that we are bringing these people in here on your dime? The dime we're supposed to be giving you, the dime that we're not giving you, we owe you. The dime we're supposed to be paying you, we owe it to you. Not that you begging and we giving it to you, we owe it to you, but we're not going to do that. We're choosing to do something else. We're going to bring in these new people, we're going to groom them, and they will gladly give us their vote. They will gladly give us their vote when it's next time around because we've treated them so well on your dime, or let's say you treated them well on your dime. We're going to show you how this really works. We're going to pimp you. We're going to continue to pimp you. You're not slaves, but you're another kind of slave. You're being whored out now. So you make the money, you bring it to us, and we distribute it the way we want to amongst our other workers. This is what this is, and how long are you going to continue to go on with this before you use your brain and do something else? You're going to vote this person in, and they gave you a whole fluff of a web page, fluffiness. It wasn't even a lot of thought process put into that. I can tell you that right now, because the majority of stuff on there is not going to be addressed concerning us. I can tell you that right now. So I'm looking at this, and this is just a slap in the face. I'm tired of it. I'm really tired, and you should be too.
So as we go and we look at it, so you look further, and it says establishing offices of immigrant affairs in City Hall. We don't even have, we have so-called urban affairs, but urban affairs is for everybody. We don't have American black affairs, right?
Come on.
Government offices focusing on making policies inclusive. What? Creating neighborhood. Listen to this. This is the driver's license. This is the job. This is the job and the residency component, right? Are you ready? You have to be able to decipher this phraseology. We told you about phraseology. Phraseology is trickology by trickoticians, okay? Creating neighborhood resource centers or welcome centers to help all residents find jobs. They've already got to resident status, and they are going to find them jobs. This is what we've been talking about. I know people are going to say, oh, no, they don't say it exactly like that. No, please don't let me have to say Negro. I'll say it that way. Exhale. Don't let it have to be so blatant to you. You have to be able to comprehend what's being done to you and navigate the school system, health care system, then navigating it to get it free. Oh yeah. Do I have to be the Negro with? Come on, brother. Do I have to be a cross between Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage? Do I have to put that country twang in my voice to get y'all Negroes that's so obedient to the various parties to realize that you're being out there. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. They're macho man. I have to do that for you to understand, to comprehend what is actually being done to us. And you're talking about voting, and they're making you feel that these immigrants have had the same struggles you had, but they haven't been drawn and quartered and lynched. They didn't work this land to make it as rich as it is. Let's continue. Let's see what else they're giving. Let's see what else they're giving to people. Let's look at this. Let's look at all the points that we talked about. We talk about constantly on the show, right? To nauseam. Okay. Learning opportunities and navigating school, we said it. Supporting entrepreneur incubators targeted towards immigrants and providing resources to help access business loans. Mentoring and capital. Do we have that? Have they offered? Aren't these our set-asides? We've told you about the Panthers 10-point plan back in October 1966. Is this not our set-asides being handed, our ideas being handed over to somebody else? Promoting statewide seals of biliteracy to recognize people who graduate from high school speaking multiple languages. Driving campaigns to help lawful permanent residents naturalize. Driving campaigns to help lawful permanent residents naturalize. I mean, because you got to be mobile. You got to listen to what you're reading. It sounds one thing, but then it's another. They have to be mobile to get around to where they need to be. Facilitating statewide efforts to lower the barriers to relicense professional degrees and certifications from other countries. They want to give them streamline. They want to streamline them through. Their degree may not... Look, we've been talking about the Indians from India in the hospitals. They usually make the Indians from India and all the other different immigrants, go back to school because they don't fit the American model of what education is, because their education system, though they may have had a degree, does not level up to America. But now they're going to push them through. And what happens when you're in the hospital and they look at people who look at you as the untouchables? We've talked about that already. Go back to our previous shows. And they're going to be practicing medicine with the revolution will not be televised on television. It's going to be televised in the hospital. That's right. Right. Let's continue on with this real quick. This is disgusting. Right. Increasing immigrant representation on community boards, ensuring that all public schools have sufficient English language learning support to help all children reach their potential. And there's an and. Let's move. Let's keep moving. This is all for the immigrant. Now you can see how many slides I have, right? How many slides do I have versus the slides that I had for American Black concern? Like I said, this is like 15 pages to 500 pages for the immigrant, right? Let's continue on. Because this is a nation that was built by immigrants. That is a lie. Investing in programs to connect immigrant professionals to others in their field, or to create cultural events and other programming to build social capital in immigrant communities. Hello? Could we get those programs doled? Because that's the dole, because they're on the dole right there. That's programs being doled out to immigrants who are not American citizens. They are not American citizens. They didn't build this boy, and you're going to dish this out to them just because. Let's go over it again. In case you missed it, let's go over it again. They're going to get their TIN number. They're going to be able to get a driver's license. They're going to have health care, free health care. They're going to have the ability to work, and most likely they're going to be taking your job because you're asking too much, Negro. You got your hands out too much. You've got your hands out too much, American black people, but we're giving everything to the immigrant coming in a country that's not even an American citizen, and you haven't even, we don't remember that we owe you anything. So just vote for us and be good for it, and maybe you will have a place being a third-rate something. We don't know exactly what you're going to be when we're done with you, but everyone that's coming in the country will be able to step. Oh, they already do that already. They're going to be permanently stepping over you, and you're going to deal with it, and all we need you for is your number to vote. They're going to be able to vote. They're going to be able to have that TIN number. They're going to be able to open up businesses with that TIN number and get an EIN number. They're going to be able to have health care. They're going to have subsidized housing in the burbs. They're going to be able to work. They're going to be able to vote. All the things that they fight to keep you from having, and this has been going. We got to go back to 1920. Here's something for you to do, for you to study on. Go back to 1920. Start with W.E.B. Du Bois. Look at all the presidents from when W.E.B. Du Bois was a child, even before he came into prominence in the 20s. Go back to when he was a child. Look at who the presidents were, what they believed in all the way up to today. Look at what W.E.B. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, Booker T, Frederick Douglass before. Look at what they were fighting for, and ask yourself, do these people have our best interests at heart? And what was happening every time with the immigrant coming in and stepping in? The Irish, the Italian, etc., etc. And now the African. There's 22 million black African immigrants in this country. We're around 42, 44 million. That could easily be cut and switched in about 50 to 60 years. We keep on talking about the invasion of the black body snatchers. We keep on talking about this, and you're voting for a group of people who are telling you that they love the immigrants, but they don't love. Matter of fact, the 44th president was a child of an immigrant and a white American. The vice president is a child of two immigrants, and they're passing it off to you as to us as they are American black. Don't you see? Don't you see?
You know, I'm sitting here and there's a whole lot going through my mind right now, but basically we are in a multifaceted psychological warfare And yesterday we talked about, are we being outprayed? And we talked about the 4 different types of prayer. Then there was the 5th one that was warfare and going into battle type prayer. And warfare prayer is of a spiritual nature, but it manifests in the natural and the things that we see. And this is going to take, because I'm going to tell you what the psychological warfare is, then I'll come back to that. The psychological warfare is to get you so up in arms. Black people from all walks of life, from all living type situations, from the projects to the burbs, from educated and non-educated, to whatever gambit on the the plethora of possibilities that we can be descriptively. Their plan, the psychological warfare, is to get you so bent out of shape and so emotional with when you get a clue, because some of y'all have to be in a coma. You're not just sleep. Because the stuff that we present to you, if you've been watching it and you've been paying attention, or if you've been paying attention just on your own before we came along, if you've just been paying attention, this is tantamount to they're just murdering you in your own land. And they want to get you so stirred up and so pissed off. They bring the immigrants in here to take your place. You begin to behave unseemly because you don't have anywhere to turn. You don't feel you have choices. They get you entangled in the prison system. You are right back in slavery. They don't care whether you're a Rhodes Scholar or whatever. If they can get you pissed off enough to get you to do something to get you in the prison system, then you're in there working for free, pressing license plates and making toys and whatever else that they make in the prisons. You're in there you are, enslaved again. But before they could enslave you there, they had to enslave you in your mind. And some of y'all will sit there and argue us down and say, well, I'm not enslaved in my mind. I do what I want to do. I'm free. Yeah, with all that head bobbing and all that, all that big talk. But you're not free. So you're going to use your freedom that you say you have, that you think you have, and you're going to go to a voting poll. The freedom that you think you have, there's shackles still around your mind. And you're going to go to a voting poll and you're going to vote with people who are clearly, if you go to his site, did you even go see what he stood for? Or is it just because he's simply a Democrat that's got a seemingly black running mate? That's all and who's a female. That's all you needed to know to go and vote for him. This psychological warfare is to get you stirred up and put you in the prison system. Bring the immigrants in. They got their vote automatically because they bought it. They will have their vote automatically because they bought their vote. And they're going to feel in servitude to them. So, of course, they're going to have their vote. Do you see what's happening? And so, they want to get you mad because they can say, well, going back to Africa, there's nothing for us over there. And I'm not going nowhere. If my people help build this country, I'm not going back to Africa. I was never there. So where I was at is here. This is where I'm staying right here. I'm not going back to somewhere I've never been. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. So now we have got to work smart. This is psychological warfare. It's going to take a psychological warfare back. You have to engage psychologically in this thing. It is not won through anarchy. It is not won by nationalism. It's not won by those things. It's won by brain power. Brain power and understanding psychological warfare and warfare prayer. Warfare prayer comes with warfare actions. And all warfare is not physical with guns and knives and stuff. Psychological warfare is a lot sharper than that. It's a lot sharper than that. It's strategic. And so this is going to take a strategic effort on our part in order to beat this. This is this is it's hard to articulate how deep, dark, and wide this wickedness goes. It's wicked. It's wicked.
Uh-oh, wait a minute now. If you thought that people were going to be within this psychological warfare, while they're talking about handing the immigrants this welfare that they constantly talk to American blacks about, why don't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps? Well, we play Martin Luther King all the time at the intro of the show, where we show you also the two films, out of the 27 films that I have. You know, I show you because, you know, self-reliant, self-motivated, self-actionary, self-moving, etc. Here it is, people. But sometimes you need that extra push. So while they're talking about pull yourself up by your bootstraps and why you want welfare, they're handing them over welfare. It's welfare. Look at this one right here. You want to talk about psychological. Increase the number of visas offered to permanent work-based immigration based on macroeconomics, not micro. Micro, M-I-C-R-O, means small. Maybe you might have missed that. Macro, M-A-C-R-O, means large. It's big economic conditions. Listen to this. Currently, the number of employment-based visas is capped at 140,000 each year without the ability to responsive to the state of the labor market or demands from domestic employers. What Biden wants to do is increase the work visas of immigrants. Now, you've seen all of these panels that we put up about the immigrant, right? All right, people, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is an emotional thing getting ready to come up because they constantly keep playing on our emotions. Come on, Tanya. Why don't we sing? Lift every voice and sing till her heaven rings. Okay. Enough of the cacophony. Listen to that. You see that? Lift every voice and sing. Lift every voice, the Biden plan for Black America. Automatically, they got you singing and dancing. Well, come on. Put on that black face, put on them tap shoes. Yeah, come on, lift every voice. Everybody sing. Joe Biden knows that African Americans can never have a fair shot at the American dream so long as entrenched disparities are allowed to quietly chip away at opportunity. He is running for president to rebuild our economy in a way that finally brings everyone along, and that starts with rooting out systematic racism from our laws, our policies, our institutions, and our hearts. Right? Okay. Only problem with that would have been nice if this was the turn of the century at, coming from out of the 1865, and it was 1890 going into the 20, and it was 1910, and that would be good. Oh my God. That would be so good. Oh my. But we are on this hamster wheel, and we have to get off the hamster wheel. This man telling you this. Let me take this down real quick so you can see my face. You can see my face. See me and my sister's face on this, okay? Look. These people, Sanders, Simone Sanders, right? Simone Sanders, excuse me, right here. I'm discombobulated here. Simone Sanders writing this, along with the cohort of people writing this. This will be good if this is 1910, coming from off the turn says you just been free from slavery about 40 years. This is 2020. People were freed from slavery in 1865. The 13th Amendment was passed. Then the rest of the slaves were freed. And it's been that long. And we're talking about the year 2020, and he's writing this, and we're falling for this. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You're falling for this, right? You're falling for this, right? And you're falling for a man. You're falling for a man who said this right here. This is what the man said about American black people and the conditions that they're in, which caused them to, some, not all, but caused them to do. And this is what he said during the crime bill debate in 93, where the crime bill, what was it called? What was the crime bill called? Let me turn the page and give you the exact title. We call it 3 strikes around here, right? We call it 3 strikes, but it's actually called the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994. And this is what he was saying. And you give this guy a benefit of the doubt. Listen to this.
Take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth. It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask what made them do this. They must be taken off the street.
So they must be taken off the street. So you can go and watch the rest of it because it gets even more inflammatory, okay? You're going to need some preparation H, preparation H, the way that they're trying to give it to you right now. Right? Now, we showed you all those pages for immigrants, all those set-asides are supposed to be for American blacks. Martin Luther King got his throat shot out for it. Malcolm X indirectly died for it. Medgar Evers died for it. Thurgood Marshall was trying to write legislation into law to make it so it would be for us. He died trying to do it. Died of old age. Now look, this is what they offer a group of people. Help families buy their first homes and build wealth by creating new refundable, advanceable tax credit refunds, as we call it over here, of up to 50. Oh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. I've been genuine. I've been quite lenient on what it is. I've been generous on what it is. They said up to. You may not get 15. You may not get 15,000. It's up to. You got to read the words, the phraseology. Up to. Right? Look, it used to be temporary. Now they want to give black homeowners tax credit. You don't even get to see it. You don't even get to see it when you close it. You don't get the 15,000. You get a tax credit. That could be gone. Anyway, look. So out of all those pages, also on there, to be fair, they talked about COVID and all that. But really, this is the big thing that they're going to do for American black people. This is the man who told you this, right? This is the man who told you this. This is also the man, though. I mean, we have to be fair before we get to Trump, because we're coming to Trump. We had to take all this time to get through the whole minutia of what Biden is doing to get to this. This right here is enough. Listen to this right here. 213-943-3350. I know that the Democrat operatives are listening because you've been listening to us. You've been calling up, but you can't call up and denounce and rebuke facts.
Former Vice President Joe Biden seems primed to be at the head of a crowded Democratic 2020 field, but his role as a leading architect in America's crackdown on drugs could be a major liability for his campaign.
I think the problem with Joe Biden isn't that he was a passenger on the drug war train, he was driving it.
In 1988, as chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Biden co-sponsored the Anti-Drug Abuse Act. The bill led to new mandatory minimum sentences for drug offenders and created a sentencing rule that led to stiffer punishments for crack cocaine users than those who used powder cocaine. In 1989, when then-President George H.W. Bush called for $8 billion to help law enforcement in the war against drugs, Biden said it was inadequate and called for stricter punishments for both drug users and dealers.
The president says he wants to wage a war on drugs, but if that's true, what we need is another D-Day, not another Vietnam, not another limited war fought on the cheap and destined for stalemate and human tragedy.
Then in 1994, Biden spearheaded the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement
Did
Act,
he
a bill that
you can hear the rest of that on your own. It is on YouTube. All you have to do is, that's right, he undermined George Bush 1 and said he equated to Vietnam. You know, we were just, Vietnam, American soldiers were just advisors. They weren't supposed to be in the war, but they were fighting the war, had more black men going over there fighting and dying where we were supposed to be just advisors. But at the same time, he says it needs to have more teeth to kill more black people by incarcerating and rip up the whole command. The information is out there. That was under a Republican president. Then a decade later, under a Democrat president, super predators. This is what he thought about you. And we getting ready to come to Trump right now. Go ahead.
Oh, the whole thing is he undermined and he undercut, and that's a lot of times that's what you need to listen to, is that politicians say whatever it is they need to say to try to sway your opinion. You have to develop the ability to sit back like this here and just observe, not be rash to make decisions, but observe. But right now, November 3rd is swiftly coming upon us, so we got a whole month of October to see these shenanigans and hear these this smoke blowing that we've been hearing. And we need for you, it would behoove you to go back through these episodes and get the information, get the definitions, go do your own research. When you start putting your work in, you will appreciate it better. When you put your own work in, you will appreciate and value the decision that you have to make. It will become like a chocolate diamond to you. It will be very valuable because you're putting the work in, you're examining the issues in relation to what's important to you, what you want to see happen over the next few years, what you want to see for your people. And bottom line, it's not about nobody concerning us but us at this time. Because why? It has to be to this extreme because we're in such a deficit with, what they put up. We trusted them. And it feels, see, for me to say that, oh, we trusted them and they did us so wrong. That make me feel some kind of jelly bag. It makes me feel a little bit jelly bag. Well, we trusted them. We trusted you. No, we can't do that anymore. I mean, y'all listen. If you're going to do that, you may as well go order I think you can order it online. You know, I used to work at Ambiance. You know, don't fall out, don't pass out. I used to work at Ambiance. All right, Ambiance had a section. You know, this it's the store for lovers. It's not a smut store like a lot of your porn stores. It's not a smut store. It's a store for lovers. They call it. That's their tag. But they had a section for people who like activities from the rear. They had a section, and they had something called anal ease. And the purpose of anal ease was to make it easier to go in the rectal cavity. So if you're going to go with these people and let them continue to do that, go ahead. I'm sure Amazon has it. I'm sure they have it. Go ahead and stock up on some anal ease, because you're going to need it in these oncoming days. You're going to need it to be able to sit down comfortably when you think to yourself how you let these people go up in you and they didn't rape you. You gave it to them.
Trump, tail of the tape. This is Trump's plan. Trump's plan, right? It's called the Platinum Plan, right? Now, before people start talking about, oh, well, Trump, he's going to lie to you, or you're listening to what the media is saying. But remember, to us, it doesn't make a difference, because we're not voting for a racist one, and we're not voting for racist two. 213-943-3358. I know they like to call it the last few minutes of the show. We got 28 minutes. You could come on in and try to explain away Biden's record, but we have it. This is the tail of the tape before the debate tonight, so that our people will be informed, right? So before people start saying, oh, he's going to lie to you, well, he had a 10-point plan. And out of the 10 points of the 10-point plan, let me see if I can bring this up real quick. Let me see if I find it real quick. Okay. How to find the original 10-point plan. We're going to cut through this real quickly. To find the original 10-point plan, you have to type in Trump's 10-point plan for Black America, right? And then when you open that particular thing up, which we've been over it, we're not going to go over it again, but when you open it up, you find out we have in purple things that he already kept. Remember when the pastors were meeting with him, and the media was basically calling them coons and everything, and we in emotion went along with it, said, oh, they're meeting with Trump, oh, they're coons. What do you think the people are who are meeting with Biden after 3 strikes, and before that, a decade before, 100-1, right? But anyway, here, we're just doing the tail of the tape. So right here are the 10-point plans, and I made sure that in royal purple, light royal purple, I made sure that I showed you that out of the 10 points, he has implemented already 10 of the points, right? Now that's for you to go to the website and do your own research and figure this out. Because like I said, we're not voting for register 1 or 2, because we're about reparations, because you're giving the immigrant everything. And Trump is no different than the Democrats, except for he wants just educated immigrants to come in and do the Ellis Island thing. I'm not the Ellis Island thing, but they do the naturalized citizenship thing. So again, to see the 10-point plan, you go to whatever your search engine is and type in Trump's 10-point plan for American blacks, and it's under the heading, what do you have to lose? Donald Trump's 10-point plan. Been there, people. It's been there, and people were calling the people coons, but they put it together. Now, Donald Trump has now come with something that Democrats have not come with. This is the tail of the tape. He has come with The Platinum Plan, right? And what does the Platinum Plan say? It's broken down. Let me get my piece of paper here because that is still kind of small. Let me find my paper here so I could give it to you. Trump's Platinum Plan. It's a promise in 11 points. You see that in the white and blue sheet. It's 11 points broken down into 4 areas of focus: opportunity, security, prosperity, and fairness. Now this is for you to go. It's right there. It's called the Platinum Plan. It's easy to get to because it's called the Platinum Plan. And you know that American blacks, we love everything that's platinum. You know, platinum is like platinum and gold, right? So I'm just saying, you know, platinum and gold, right? We love everything that is platinum and gold. What do you have to say to that? What do you have to say to that before we continue?
Vision that he had, but vision has to evolve into a plan. So this was a vision that is already in action. It's already in action, and while the first 5 points that he covered was already done, he was making a plan to cover the big, because this stuff here on this list, this is the big stuff right here. So he dealt with the foundational stuff, but this is the Platinum Plan. This is what he's saying. This is his best offer, having considered everything else, having considered how it's going to affect all of the country because he is the president. So he has forged out a plan that he believes is going to address the issue of black Americans and still be able to keep all the rest of the state running fluently, right? So it was a plan. It's a plan. It's to paper. You can see it. You can read it. And we can put some, those of you who are going to vote, you can put some measure of confidence in it based on the fact that he has already covered 5 out of the other 10-point plan. This right here is going to cover the other 5, but there's several components to do it. That lets you know a thought process went in it, because you had your big goals and then you break your big goals down into smaller measurable goals to get to your end goal. So you can see where some thought has been put into this, and it was formulated or was come up with by people who met with him, the black pastors back in the beginning. They went forth and did their work. Don't call them coons. They did some work. There were some of them that used their influence to get his ear and his eyes, and they came together and they put this together and they presented it to him, and he was open to receive that. He told them to put something together. They went and put something together. They didn't lollygag around, like a lot of us do. Lollygag around. They went and they were proactive. They put something together. They presented it to him. He looked at the 10 points, and then he put thought process into breaking those 10 points down into measurable goals. He accomplished 5. Here are the remaining 5 in here. It resulted in these right here. Now that is, why it took a business mind to do that. It took a business mind to know how to do that. That's something you learn in business school. Breaking down large goals into measurable goals. Politicians don't always do that. That's why they have advisors.
Right, people. So, anytime If the advisors want to call up, I mean, it's cool. 213-943-3358. Anytime Biden's advisors want to call up. So look, because we went and told you in extensiveness, this is what Trump's plan looks like, broken down into every aspect of it, right? Broken down so that people can actually read it on the screen, but we don't have time to actually do that. But let's see. Like I said, it's 11 points. Trump's promise to American blacks over 4 years, right? It's broken down into four areas of focus: opportunity, security, prosperity, and fairness. Then when you flip the document over, it breaks down into subtopics, with outline goals and objectives to meet under each subtopic. Again, this is education personified, because every politician that comes into office is not necessarily educated. They are not necessarily educated on how to run a corporation. The United States of America is a corporation. So again, just like in business, because this is a corporation, it has 11 points. It says President Trump's promise to Black America over 4 years. Then it breaks down into 4 areas of focus of the Platinum Plan. President Trump's pillars: opportunity, security, prosperity, fairness. Afterwards, when you turn the document over, it expands and it breaks down into subtopics: Black economic empowerment, all access to capital. Number 2, more education opportunities. 3, better and cheaper health care. 4, safety and justice, with outlined goals and objectives to meet under each subtopic. It is a beautifully put together document. It doesn't have all of that legalese, political talk in it. It is plain. Malcolm X used to say, state it plain. Now, if you believe that it is BS, or if you believe that it is the real deal, that is up for you to determine, because you're going to be out there voting. But you should at least look at the plan and be educated and get off of the emotional part of the hamster wheel. Get out of that mindset that you being loyal will get you somewhere, when in actuality it's not going to get you anywhere, because we know this already. How do we know this? Because we can look at the history and extrapolate out just using W.E.B. Du Bois and all the contemporaries that came around in his lifetime. And we can look at programs like the programs we talked about today that are dealing with that, with time periods in the past that show you that nothing has really advanced for us doing the same things over and over and over again. Nothing has actually advanced. It hasn't advanced us economically or within social status within the society, right? We are in freedom, free D-U-M-B, but we want to be free, to be citizens that they value so much that they would put together special plans to make sure that you have the educational opportunities, the bilingual training, the subsidized housing in the suburbs, the guaranteed jobs, the guaranteed health care, the guaranteed right to vote because you are a free citizen of the United States of America. We would like what is owed to us. The reason why we will not cast that vote for either is because neither has dropped a plan for reparations to make us whole. They're passing all the money on and making all the money for all the programs for immigrants. And now, what are you going to do? Because you're not going to be able to say white. Well, they're categorized as white when they come in, but you're not going to be able to say white because it's going to be people that may look like you or have melanin like you that are going to be oppressing you. Go back and watch episodes 1 through 23, now 24. Go back and watch those episodes. We've already laid everything out for you with definition. We are not going to move backwards and explain to you what I meant by that last statement. It's already documented what I meant. Watch the episodes of 121 through 133 of the film review on the Film Review Life channel, where we break it down. Hashtag TFR Podcast Live. Listen to the broadcast on the replays on iHeartRadio at hashtag TFR Podcast Live. Go there, search it. It comes right up. You can watch, listen to us. Listen to episodes 104 through 110 of the film review, right? Then listen to episodes 121 through 133. We lay everything out for you, and we use movies and how society then measures up to society today and what the movie said then about the conditions. And it's entertaining, and you get to learn about movies that you can save your revenue on, because you're really going to have to be, if this goes through, you're really going to have to be saving your revenue. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got children? Keep on saying it. You got children? Protect your children. Protect your children. Get out there and vote responsibly. And the way to vote responsibly is not to vote and send the message that we do not appreciate being treated like third rail nothings, when the third rail is the electric that pushes everything. You will not be able to replace those who tilled the land, whose blood is in the soil. You just won't be able to do it. It's going to be a failure. It's going to be a disaster. But if they don't believe that, we need to show them. We brought you the information. We brought you the tail of the tape. We laid everything out for you. We laid it out by politics. We're not talking about what Trump did as a businessman, because he's now the president running the corporation of the United States of America. Biden wants to be the president of the United States, the corporation running the United States of America, the corporation. But he has a 47-year body of work as working in one of the highest offices as a senator in the United States of America, the corporation. And what decisions did he make, and how did it affect American blacks? How are those decisions still affecting us today? And how come he hasn't put into plan something like what they did for the immigrants, for American blacks, to balance out the playing field? And where's the reparations? Because you were part of the destruction of the American black community. Biden was. Trump came in and did 5 out of the 5 points, and he probably would have had all 10 gone if the black folks out there weren't coons for one party. That's what I said. And to those who are coons for the other party, when the other party is just now coming around under Donald Trump to address certain things, quit being coons for these parties, and for once, can we once work for American black issues? Share this. We dropped this out. This isn't the bull. It isn't. We have no dog in this hunt other than we want you to have your eyes wide open when you commit treachery against your own children and generations if you vote incorrectly. A no vote is a vote. A no vote is not a vote for the other party. A no vote is a vote. It says, in the Senate and the House, it says, there's 2 different ways to vote in the Senate and the House. Three different ways to vote. I don't know what they're doing with me and this, but anyway, look. There's 3 ways to vote in the House and the Senate. You can say yay, nay, or abstain. As an American citizen, if you just study civics, social studies, there's 3 ways to cast the vote. Yay, nay, abstain. Yay, nay, abstain. Yay, nay, abstain. 8 minutes left. Close out.
Some of you guys might watch us and listen to us, and you may think, well, gee, guys, Donald Trump came up with the platinum plan. You just outlined it. Wouldn't that convince you to vote? No, it doesn't, because we're still talking about reparations. See, we have to get to a point where we get to something and we stick to it and stop being moved, tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine and news and report. All right. We have a position and we're standing on it, and it's not going to sway back and forth no matter what happens, unless somebody says the reparation checks are being cut. The direct, until we get the forms in the mail, what's your direct deposit to your bank? We're going to be filtering this money. We're starting to roll this out right now. Until I hear of the first person getting that of the rollout and it's starting to roll out, that is when, if they were to do that before November 3rd, then we would probably, but they're not going to do it. It's not enough time to get that kind of legislation and stuff passed. And so they're not going to do it. That hasn't been either party's focal point. We have not been the priority. We have not been the priority. There's a concerted agreement between the 2 parties that, the reparations, we got to hold back on those. Right. So this is what we need. We're going to need that money, though. Go ahead with the platinum plan. Wonderful. Bravo, bravo, bravo. However, we're going to need that money. We're going to need that money, because I'm not trying to sing, oh, well, we're moving on up to the east side, the deluxe apartment in the sky. I want to own the apartment. I want to own the land it's on. You get that by having your own, right? So we need our reparations. We're going to need that money, though. We're going to need that money. I will see y'all tomorrow. This has been another information-packed show. Do watch this one over again. Go back and watch the others, particularly 11 up to this one.
We shall overcome some. Lift every voice and sing. We shall overcome. Some lift every voice. Listen.
This the remix. This the Freedom remix.
Listen. We laid it out there for you. It's out there. Smash the share button once you watch it on the replay or you hear it on Spotify on the replay. Make sure that you share it with your friends so they will be informed before tonight's debate or even during the next debates all the way up to November 3rd, because we're not going to cover it quite like this. We're not on a hamster wheel. We don't keep on going back and forth. We don't keep on saying the same things over again to beat the dead horse. Either you get it, horsey, or you don't. Either you get it or you don't. Each show is a different show with the through line, which is it's about American black, nothing else. It's about American black upliftment, liberty, freedom, justice, and happiness. That's what it's about. And so we're not going to back up and keep on going back and say, remember that we made reference to say, remember when we said that, go back and watch episodes such so you get context, because we laid it out in then nauseum, and we're not going to lay it out again. You have been shown. It is up to you. It is up to you. It is up to you. If you're talking about, oh, well, America has never been great. I'm an American black man. My people built this. I'm not going anywhere. If you talk about, oh, America has never been anything, I'm going back to everywhere. When you go back over to Africa and you go to them countries, when the Chinese, 5'4" Chinese man in the military tells you, move, Kappa, and the the Chinese citizens that have made those various African countries that we were waiting for them to one day be states, won't see it in our lifetime because the Chinese are now colonizing. Once you get over there and they have the Indians from India as police force buffering you from the Chinese African citizens, and you go over there and you're talking and you say, hey, I got this book, I got this knowledge, and we can do this. And those women over there who are hooking and prostituting, who get more money in one night than their father gets in 1 month of work. 1 month of work, they get that in one night for slobbing the knob of a European. They gonna say, oh, brother, that sound nice, brother. But, brother, when you get the economics, where I don't have to, other than that, I'm going to go over to this European and slob his knob. Viewer discretion is advised. If you don't know what's going on in Africa, you better wake up. And the reason why I know what's going on in Africa is because they want to bring it here by bringing in the immigrants. We lose our jobs. Our little daughters got to go out there. Our little sons got to go out there and slob knob. And you're worried about going back to Africa instead of looking at what's happening and saying, this will not happen in the country that we built. That will not happen in the country that we built. We see what you're doing. You want us to be the bottom so that we will be in servitude and do all kinds of degrading, deviant stuff that you're doing. But we are going to be defiant. The words and the names and the titles are going to shift. We're going to be defiant against your deviance. This has been another great episode of #TFR Podcast Live OB by Crazy D with my special guest, Tanya M. Congress, my sister. Listen to the replay. Share it. We will see you tomorrow with another episode.
Here's the thing about your movie, why I made a curator's pick of the Hollywood Fringe